Good morning, all. Good morning. If you can hear me clearly, let me have your yes, please. Good morning, all. Thank you all for coming. If you can hear me, let me have your yes, please. Good morning. If you can hear me, please let me have your yes, please. Good morning, all. If you can hear me clearly, let me have your yes, please. Good morning, all. I'm expecting more yes, please. I have people in the room. If you can hear me, please let me have your yes, please, so that we can start off. Good morning. Okay, let me have the yes coming in, please, so that I know everybody is hearing me loud and clear, so that I can start off. Good morning, all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for attending today's Plan Your Trade, Trade Your Plan currency review for the 26th of March 2019 with Great White. Sorry I couldn't make it yesterday. I had a little bit of health issues, so I had to try and come out early this morning to make up for lost time of yesterday. So, can you all see my chat, please? I'm using two screens. I'm testing something out on two screens. So I want to be sure you guys can see my chat. Can you see my chat, please? If you can see my chat, just type in here so that I can start off. Okay, so let's start off. So as always, the first pair we start off with is the dollar index. And if you look at the dollar index is still in a sort of a bullish range after bouncing off from this support trend line. Yesterday's candle seems to have closed with a long upper wick, which is not so good a story. On the intraday basis, the rejection point was 96.80. So this is the game plan now. Should the dollar index move above 96.80? Comment. Let me get this. Should the dollar index move up to this level, and this level holds as resistance, then we might see dollar weakness down to 96.29. But should the dollar index get up to this point and break above this point and retest, it serves as a support, then we might see the dollar index move higher. But for now, the dollar index is between no man's land. And knowing that the dollar index has an inverse correlation to the Euro USD, you might expect to see the same sort of move on the Euro USD. So for now, the dollar index is in no man's land. Your only point of interest is when it gets to 96.80, where it rejected from yesterday, or 96.29. So if it comes down here and this level serves as support, then you may see dollar strength. But should dollar index come down here and break, and upon a retest it acts as resistance, then we might see the dollar index go down. Yet one thing as traders you need to learn, I learned it the hard way. People talk about thinking in probabilities. When you think in probabilities, you relieve yourself of what they call tunnel vision. You are able to see everything clearly. You're not fixed on, oh, I'm going to buy. Because when you're fixed on only going to buy, the only thing you will see is things to confirm your position, even though if they are created by you. So you need to be able to have a clear vision so that you have a bird's eye view. So in this case, we have drawn out possible scenarios for the dollar index. All we have to do is wait for the dollar index at any of these areas. Because for now, you might engage a buy thinking it will go up only for it to drop. So it's in your best interest for now to just wait for the dollar index. Some of you might be wondering why I'm using two segmented screens. Simply why? Because on my left is the daily view. On my left is the daily view, as you can see, while on my right is the 4-hour view. So I like having the both views so that I can get a broader view of what's happening. So if you looked at the chart that I posted yesterday, this is gold. Gold ran into what I'll call a double confluence area of resistance. It ran into this resistance at 1321.45, and this top channel here, as you can see, that is what created this drop. So for now, gold is gold is correcting from this area, and also this, oh, let me get it. So for now, and if you notice, from this high to this low, the 618 comes in at this point. So you can see that gold is reacting from what you would say a triple confluence. So for now, gold is in a bit of a correction. So the point is where will gold correct to? The first point of call for gold is at this level here, 131.1316. At this point, the next point of support for gold comes in at 113.1415. That's this area. Then the next point for gold comes in at 13.1032. So for now, gold is in a bit of a correction from this resistance area. The next pair we'll be looking at is well, there's one thing you need to know. If you didn't have your levels drawn out, you would have fallen for this candle. Being a bullish candle, you might say it is a bullish continuation, only for you to engage a buy at the close of the day and have this moving against you. If you are a swing trader, it's no problem, but for most of you being intraday traders, it's not going to be pleasant. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the USDCHF. Looking at the USDCHF, this support area is holding. This support area at 99.02. This is almost like a psychological level. It's holding as support, as you can see. Not much of a major impressive close yesterday, but there is a tendency that as long as this support here holds, price may come up to this resistance at 99.56. And should this level hold, let me draw this, price may come up to this point here. Should this point hold as resistance, then price may come back down. But should price get here to this area and it goes above it, and upon a retest, it holds as a support, then price may come into this area of supply here. Or should price come down to this point and it holds as support, price may move up. Or you get a scenario where price may break below, retest, and drop lower. So for now, price is in no man's land. It's basically in no man's land. Your point of interest will be at this support or at this resistance. The next pair I'll be looking at is the EURUSD. Looking at the EURUSD on the daily, the EURUSD, we have this rising support trend line on the 4-hour. So there is a potential that price may come down to this point. So if price comes down to this trend line and this trend line holds, then you may see price move up. Then you may see price move up a bit. But should price get to this trend line, and break it, wait for a retest. If the retest holds, then price may drop down to this point. Or should price get to this resistance, go above it, retest, and it holds as support, then price may possibly do this. So these are the scenarios of play on the EURUSD. The next one we'll be looking at is the GBPUSD. GBPUSD. Let me do this. Okay. This EURUSD chart are coming. Let me share this on. Okay, I will still share this on Telegram. So let me hurry up because I don't have so much time. The next one we'll be looking at is the GBPUSD. Let's look at the GBPUSD. And looking at the GBPUSD, on the daily, is almost like at no man's land. But on the 4-hour, if you observe, he reacted from this trend line here. So now the deal is, since he has reacted from this trend line, there exists the possibility that price may drop down to this point. Should price drop down to this point, the first level of support comes in at 1.3106. Should this level hold as support, then you may see price move higher. Or should price run up to this resistance, falling resistance trend line, and break there, then you may see price come down. So these are your possible plays. Or there exists the potential that price may try to break the trend line. Upon a retest, should it hold as support, then you may see price come up to this point, that's to this area here. The next point I will be looking at is the EURGBP. Looking at the EURGBP, price seems to be in, there's this support trend line that's giving price support. So there exists the potential that as long as this support at 85.46 and this rising trend line holds, price may still move higher on this pair. So as long as this level holds, you may see price run up to either this point. But should this place break, then price may run down to this point here. So the next pair we'll be looking at is GBPCHF. Looking at the GBPCHF. So looking at the GBPCHF, if you notice, this previously broken trend line on the daily, price broke above it, retested it, and it found support there and moved up. But now, and this resistance trend line here, this resistance trend line running all the way from this high here, running all the way from this high to this point. So as you can see, price broken, and there seems to be a sort of a battle there now. So this is the storyline. Price may drop back below. As you can see, price has made a new low on the daily. So if you go down to the intraday chart, how do you play this out? It's very simple. As long as price remains below 31.27 and this falling trend line, then price has the potential to still drop back to 29.66. And you must understand one thing. If the EURGBP continues in its bullish move, it would force most of the bearish GBP pairs to drop hard. So since this GBPCHF is below this resistance trend line, and as we know, the EURGBP, let me show you here. If you look at the EURGBP on the 4-hour, it is in a bullish phase, it's above its support here. There is this potential that should this start moving up, it will force this pair to come down. Because you might say, yes, this is an evening star formation on the EURGBP daily time frame, but there is no follow through. So there is this potential that price may try to run up into 50% of this move before dropping lower. So basically what you can do on this pair is this. So that you have a note of it from this play point to this point, you drop your feet. Only on this bearish candle. So for this pair, you have 85.90, 38.2. As you can see, it was rejected yesterday and it's still moving up. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the AUDUSD. Looking at the AUDUSD, price bounced off this support trend line of the daily, and it has created a bullish engulfing candle, as you can see. So how is this going to be played? Well, price currently now, there is a swing here. I think price may be at the 50% of this swing. Let's find that out. Yes, price is at the 61.8. It has touched the 61.8 on this. So there exists a potential that we may see a bit of a pullback on the AUDUSD before the continuation knot. I don't have a proper area of reference for it in between these points here for support. But what I can say is, let me pick up this point here. As long as price does not go below 71.15 on the AUDUSD, it may continue up. But should price go below this 71.15, should price find support here, it may move up to this point. But should price go below here, retest, then we might see a retest of this trend line support on the AUDUSD. So for now, the best thing is just to watch and see. If you get bullish evidence at this point, that's 71.15, you can engage a long position. But if you don't, you will need to see a bearish evidence upon a retest of 71.15 from the downside to take a short position to this rising support trend line. The next pair we'll be looking at is USDJPY. USDJPY seems to be, as you can see, let me shrink this a bit. There is a rising support trend line that price broke. So what we might be seeing is an attempt on price to retest that level. And should price get to retest that level, that is, price get to this point, and this place serves as resistance, then we may see price drop. But should this place fail to serve as resistance, then we may see price move higher to this point. So the first resistance comes in at 110.34, while your support comes in at 109.65. So this is just possibly the range. So if price gets here and you get bearish evidence, you can execute a short position down to 109.65. So the next pair I'll be looking at is the euro yen. Looking at the euro yen, there's this sort of support here that price broke below, came back above. And if you notice on the euro yen on the daily, the lows are getting lower, as you can see from this point. And see from this point, price is making lower highs, as you can see, and a new low has been made after this low. So what do you expect to happen now? Price may possibly pull back up a bit. So how do you find that out? The high on this pair is 126.60. Let me find that. Let me be sure. The high here is 126.18. So what you do is, if you go to your 4-hour chart, there exists a potential that price can still go up. You pick your fib. You pick your fib from this point to this point. Lay out your fib. So once you've done that, as you can see, if you observe, the 38.2 was resistance for price yesterday. So if price is able to break above this 38.2 at 127.72, it may come up to this area. That's the area between 125 and 125.28 before the move down, or it may even move higher, as the case may be. Because for now, the next plausible resistance I'm seeing on this pair is 125.45, which is the 4-hour 50 moving average. That is at somewhere here. Because if you take this swing here, is only on this daily candle, but if you extend it higher to pick this swing high, excuse me, if you extend it higher to pick this swing high here, then the 50% comes in at this point. But I would prefer to use this point because this is the origin of the drop. That is this daily candle. Because this daily candle now has become an anchor candle. So because there is no follow through, this is a bearish candle, but there was no follow through. So there's a possibility price may run up to 50% of it before continuing to the downside. So you just need to be aware of it. So you might either wait for it at the 50% or the 61.8. If you get bearish evidence from any of those levels, then you can then sell to the downside. The next pair we'll be looking at is the GBPJPY. Looking at the GBPJPY from a daily point of view, there are wicks to the low, indecision candle. So which shows that there's a bit of battle going on here at the buyers. And if you look at it on the 4-hour intraday chart, there is a channel. There's a rising channel. Price is currently consolidating at this lower point here. And if you observe, they are all happening within the range of this 4-hour candle. So what do? You pick this high and you pick this point move here. Then you just observe. You observe. A break above this top at this top is 145.86 and price may move higher. So this is what you'll be expecting. Since this is a range, if price gets to this range top and price holds, then you may see price drop back down to either this point or to the range low. Should it get to this range low and it holds as support, then you may see price move higher. But for now, price is consolidating within the body of this 4-hour candle. This 4-hour candle here. Let me get rid of this so that you can see the candle at the moment. This candle here. That's the range at which price is running in between. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the Euro AUD. Looking at the Euro AUD on the daily time frame, you can see this low is where price is currently at the moment. This low here, that's what you have here on the 4 hour. So that's where price is currently at the moment. So there exists the potential that price may try to rally. If price stays below 59.02, that's this point here, then you may see price do this, run up, excuse me. You may see price run up to this point and move lower. But should price run up to this point and break above it and upon a retest, then it will be having this falling trend line to contend with. A break above this trend line will change the bearish bias to a bit of a bullish move. But if you look at it, if you zoom out and look at it from a higher perspective, you can see it's sort of like ranging in this area. So this point will not be a good point to engage a sell position, as the sellers may be trapped here by the buyers. The next pair I'm looking at is the GBPAUD. And looking at the GBPAUD, price reacted from this area yesterday. That's where price reacted from. And having reacted from there, price is on the downside. The target for this price may be this point at 1.8420 or this rising support trend line. As you can see, it's still there on the daily. That's where price may be heading for. Let me drop to the 4 hour. So you can see that's where price may come to, as you can see. So the next pair I'll be looking at is before I continue, would anybody like me to look at any of these pairs up here? Maybe EUROCAD, USD, GBPUSD, AUDUSD. If you want me to look at any of them, I don't trade those pairs, but I could look at them for you and give you an analysis. Just type in the pair and I will look at it for you. Please, let's be fast about that because I have little time left. So the next pair I'll be looking at is the GBPAUD. And like I said, the GBPAUD, having rejected from here, might be on its way down to 1.8420. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the USDCAD. So looking at the USDCAD, the USDCAD on the daily is reacting, was rejected at this trend line, as you can see here. So now this is the game plan. As long as price may try to run up to retest this trend line, but as long as this trend line holds and this level of resistance here at 1.3401, which is a psychological level, should it hold as resistance, then the first support for the USDCAD comes in at 1.3371, while the next level of support comes in at 1.3353. That reminds me, I didn't check my daily calendar for today. Oh, that's very, very wrong of me. So today, we don't have any major news for today. We don't have any major news for today until 3 p.m. Until 3 p.m., which is US consumer confidence. That comes in at 3 p.m. So let me get back to my chart. So for now, the USDCAD seems to be in a correction or rejection from this trend line here. The next pair I'll be looking at is the GBPCAD. Looking at the GBPCAD, the same thing too. See where the GBPCAD is rejecting from. So this man is still in a downtrend. But mind you, his first level of support comes in at this point here, which is the 4-hour 50 moving average, which comes in at 1.7631. Let me be sure. Yes, this point. So you need to be aware of this point. Let me note it. You need to be aware of this point here. That is the comment. That's the 4-hour 50 MA. So at this point, so this may serve as support, but below this point, and then price may come down to this point. We're looking at this trend line as somebody is asking me to look at CHF-JPY. That now is a crazy pair. Very, very crazy pair. I don't even have it. To show you how crazy it is, I don't even have it. But let me add it. CHF-JPY. Okay. Let me look at this pair now. Look at this pair from a daily view. Let me see what I have on daily. Let me see. I hope I can hurry up with this before I run out of time from here to here. Well, it might be in an uptrend. It might be in an uptrend. It might be in an uptrend. As you can see, it's reacting from this place. That was what they moved up from yesterday. So if you drop down to your 4-hour, now there's a challenge now of 4-hour. This point now. There's a challenge here on 4-hour. This point now is serving as resistance. And why is this serving as resistance? You see all these rejections here. So now, if this price, if CHF-JPY does not go above 111.06, which is almost a psychological level, then he's coming down to attack this trend line. So that is what I can see. The person who asked for it, I can't find your name. I can't see your name, but you know, but you are aware of what I'm talking about. As long as price does not go above 111.06 on CHF-JPY, it might come down to test this trend line. And even on the 4-hour, there is a 4-hour trend line. So you can see. So that's just it for this pair. If he goes above here, he has this trend line to contend with. If it can't break above this trend line, he's coming back down. So that is it for today. Thank you all for coming for today's morning review for the 26th of March 2019. I wish you all a beautiful trading day in advance. If you have any questions, this is my Telegram handle and this is my Twitter handle. I'll be glad to answer any of your questions. Wishing you all a beautiful, blessed, and peaceful day ahead. Thank you.